Hey friends, this is Josh over at Letcha Gaming, and I just wanted to let you know I'm playing another new game. This one's called Dinoblade. Dinoblade is an action RPG mixed with some Souls-like mechanics, and it's a heavy emphasis placed on like fighting bosses. So at times it kind of felt like a boss rush game, which I was not expecting. I thought there'd be a little bit more to the outside just bosses, but it really focuses on that. There's a lot of hype behind this game. So many of us that grew up, especially when we were very little, our first thing that we loved were dinosaurs. I mean, you go into a kids section for clothing and you see how many dinosaur clothing related items there are, and that's for a reason, because dinosaurs are awesome, and like what a cool thing for a child to first learn about. And this game takes that childhood dream of action figure dinosaurs fighting with weapons, axes, swords, maces, and then brings it into a video game. A lot of us now are older and we might have kids, or we just want to reflect on all the fun things we did when we were younger, like playing with those action figures, and this game totally stems from that. I love that the developer did this concept. There's really some nice things about this game that going forward, I hope Dinoblade 2 comes out. So the first thing I really want to emphasize is how fun the gameplay is overall during boss fights. The boss fights are very unique, each one. They're really well thought out. They're super fun. There's a cool animation that you do every time you finish a boss. I love that. And when you beat that boss, eventually you kind of get these skills that the boss used against you that you can use forward against other enemies. So that's a super fun mechanic. I love that style in video games of, you beat something, then you learn from it and use it going forward. The boss fights continue to just get better and better. There's a lot of great fighting. There's parrying, there's dodging, there's all the Souls-like stuff. And the parrying feels really rewarding because the more you parry, you can put the enemy in kind of a stagger phase and do like a special move. But outside of those boss fights, I think the gameplay is pretty lackluster. There's not a lot to explore besides getting currency for your skills. The regular mobs that aren't bosses are really boring. I mean, after a couple hours of playing, I just started skipping them because it was kind of felt pointless to even fight them because it was just so easy and they didn't really bring anything to the table, at least to me. And there was a ton of jank and bugs that, when you're traveling around the map, it's easy to get stuck on things. It just felt like it needed maybe a little bit more time in the oven, but I totally get that this game there's so much hype behind it that he wanted to get it out, and I'm glad he did, and I hope he continues to patch it and work on kind of the jank and bugs of it. I do know that eventually, down the line, if he does make that second game and those are kind of cleaned up, there's a real nice game here with a real good base of fighting. It's super fun. There's a couple boss fights where I was getting that old feeling I get when I play like Dark Souls, where you're just like super low health fighting a boss and your hands are kind of sweating a little bit, your heart's pounding, and that's why we all love this type of game, and why we love Souls games is for that feeling, and it nails it when it really is doing that thing. But outside of the boss fights, like I said, it's a little tough. Some of the animations, the movement just feel awkward, and once again that can go back to maybe some more time in the oven, maybe more people working with him. I just felt a little just herky-jerky when you're jumping and moving around. If there's multiple enemies, the camera gets lost, and the sound sometimes it kind of sounds like there's enemies behind you when they're in front of you, to the left of you when they're right. Like there's just some awkward things with that. And music wise, I love the music. That's the one part of the sound that was great in this game. It just plays some over the top heavy metal while you're fighting a big giant dinosaur. It doesn't get any better than that. I want more of that. Give me some more of that metal music going. The overworld music as you're kind of traveling the big map is great as well. The world itself is super interesting. Like it's pretty basic and bare bones, but it feels like a place where dinosaurs would be. It just, sometimes the graphics made things melt into each other where it's hard to tell what's going on. There's a forest where there's like lightning and it's dark, and I'm surprised I even made it through there at times because I was like, where the hell am I? But besides that, it's a super fun game for an afternoon. I loved playing the game. It was a fun night that I played it, but is it worth $20? I don't know. I think on sale for like $10 or something would be maybe a little bit better, but who am I to judge? You can go to a bar and get a cocktail for 16 to 20 bucks, and you're not going to have as much fun with that drink as you can with a game like this. So it's up to you to decide, is that $20 worth a shorter game that once you beat it, there's a boss rush mode, which is awesome, but like I said, not a ton of meat on the bone here. You're kind of going in for these boss fights, and that's what you're going to get out of it. Overall, like going over the review, positives are amazing concept. We need more dinosaur games. Please give us more dinosaur games. The boss fights are awesome. I loved fighting each boss. Each one was unique. The animations were cool when you beat the boss. graphics, love the music, love the heavy metal, love the overworld music. There's a lot of great little things when it comes to the music in this game. Some things to improve overall, and hopefully this will be used in Dinoblade 2, or even if he updates this game. Just gameplay outside the bosses. Just give us more things to explore, more things to see. Another thing to improve on is jank and bugs. That's in every video game, but it was pretty prevalent in my playthrough, and hopefully he can fix those out. And then just the price tag, 20 bucks for a pretty short game, to me is on the fringe of let's wait for a sale. What they have here is an amazing start, a super cool concept, and Dinoblade 2 is going to go so hard if they really create a little team to make that game. And I hope to continue to play your games going forward. And if you have any indie games that you're working on that you don't have a lot of press, or you want somebody to review it, just send me an email, shoot it my way. I would love to review it. I would love to keep talking about indie games. Thanks, guys.